All right, let's hop right into it. I'm going to do the same questions I did with last period. Went pretty well, and then you get the rest of the time to work on your own. Number one, right away. Find all these values. Find all these values. Everyone was here yesterday, so everyone's got a study guide. So here we go. Find all these values. Let's start number one there. Find the period. The period, hey, the period's not going to be found here. You're not going to find the period on the equation. You have to use the formula every single time. The period will not be found on the equation. What formula do I need? What formula am I talking about? Start this off right. 12. Good. Now let's talk. And when I give you an equation, there is an A, a B, and a C, and that is it. Max and min are not found on the equation. A, number out in front. B is the number between the sine, cosine, and the x. And C is the number on the outside. That's what the equation will give you. It will not give you the period. It will not give you the min and max. It will just give you an A, a B, and a C. And you got to know what those darn things mean by now. So going back to the period, 2 pi over 3, the B value. And that's it. Usually we have to reduce or divide, but I can't do anything else. Next up, what's next? Amplitude. Oh, geez. That's just another name for what value? A value. That's it. It's the A value. You don't have to do min minus max minus min over 2. You don't have any points to plug in. It's just the number out in front, and it always has to be what? Positive. 1/2. Done. It's the number out in front. Always positive. The negative, remember, is just for graphing. What's next? Frequency. That's another name for what value? B. Yes, B and frequency go together. And we already said that was 3. Frequency is your B value. What's up next? All right, now let's slow it down. We did this one day. Phase shift. That means how many units left or right does it go? How many units left or right? Where do I find that? Inside or outside the parenthesis? Where do I find going left and right? Inside or outside the parenthesis? Inside. I find it inside. So look inside the parenthesis right now. Minus pi. Minus. Minus tells me to go where? Left or right? Be careful. Minus tells me I go left or right. Opposite. You go opposite. Right. So the phase shift is right pi. You always go opposite inside the parenthesis. And then the last one, vertical shift. Vertical shift. That is outside, and that follows the rules. You just follow the rule. +1 tells me up 1. Don't tell me 1. Don't tell me +1. Tell me up 1. Anything. Frequency is your B value. Period you can only find using the formula. Amplitude is the A value. Always positive. Anything, please ask, because we're getting confused here, I think. You cannot get min and max just by looking at you can find it, but no number up there represents the min and the max. Questions? Number 2 now. We just did it using an equation. Let's find these same values using a graph now. Amplitude. Now I need the formula because I just can't pull off the first number out in front. All right, I need the formula. What is the formula for amplitude? 15. Formula for amplitude?
Max minus min over 2.
I need it. That's what I need. Max minus min over 2. All right, everyone, let's make an educated guess here. Maximum here. Looks like it goes by 2s, right? The y-axis goes by 2s, so can we agree on a max of 3? Everyone all right with that? Max of 3. Max 3. minus, let's make a nice guess on the minimum, probably -3. Everyone all right there? They're going by twos. Looks like -3 is good. 3 minus -3 over 2. Max minus min. What's that? 6 over 2. So +3 for your amplitude. All right, next one's frequency. You can't get that off a graph. What do you need to know to find frequency? Come on. What's always related? What do we need to know first to find the frequency? Period, right? I need to know the period to find the B value. So let's skip to C now. And I know some of you guys struggle with this on a graph. Finding period on a graph. Because I can't use 2 pi over B here. I need it on a graph. So everyone start, put your pen, pencil, whatever, wherever it starts on the y-axis. Start tracing and stop tracing when you think it starts repeating again. Wherever you are on the x-axis, that's your period. So start on the y-axis, wherever the graph is on the y, trace, 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 stop tracing when you think it starts repeating, and let me know where you are on the x-axis. Where are you on the x-axis when it starts repeating again? 12? 2 pi. I'm ready. Hey, take. Done. Right there. It starts repeating right here, and I'm at 2 pi. There's the period. Everyone, I'm going to give you more of those. You got 2 more of those coming up here in a second. All right, now go back to frequency now. You said I needed period to find frequency, right? P equals 2 pi over B. All right, you got the period. Go ahead, find the frequency. Plug in the period and cross multiply. Frequency? Anybody come up with the frequency? You have to plug it in the period. Oh, 10? 1. Good job. Anybody want to see the math behind that? 1. We're all good? 2 pi over 2 pi. Ready for the equation now. All right, yeah, I'm going to be picky about this because I expect greatness from you. Got to have y equals every time you start an equation. Y equals? First number?
3.
A value. Good. Whoa! How about this guy? Didn't give you if it was sine or cosine. That's on you. But we're on day 9 of the unit, so this is a what graph? Sine curve, right? Starts at the midline. Sine. What goes inside the parentheses now? A. B, which is your frequency, which is, I'm not putting 2 pi in here. Putting 1 or just 1x, whatever floats your boat. And then what do I didn't ask for it, but I still got to check for a what? Shift, C value. Because remember, the C goes out here. And I didn't ask for that, okay? But you still got to find it to write the equation. How do you find a C value? 3. How do I find a shift? C value, Dylan.
Max plus min.
Okay, so now I just take 3 and add it to -3 and divide by 2. And then is there a shift here? No. And if anybody wants a little quick tip, anytime it goes up and down to the same amount, no shift. Right? It went up to 3, down to -3. Anytime those match, there's not going to be any shift if you want to save yourself time. But if the numbers are different, min and max, then I got to find it. So that's it. Questions using an equation like number 1 or a graph like number 2 to find all this stuff. Anything. Seven. I'm going to change the directions right off the bat. I just want to graph this. That's it. I don't want to graph from 0 to 2 pi. I just want to graph. Just like pretend this was a blank sheet of graph paper. Okay, pretend they already set up your y-axis. You're welcome. We're going to set up our own x-axis. Excuse me. So we're not going to use these values. All right, so tomorrow I'm just, like usual, I'm just giving you a plain piece of graph paper. Go ahead, let's graph this. All right, what's got to go on the y-axis? Not specific numbers. What three values always go on your y-axis? What three values always go on the y? 5? Okay, here we go. Max, min, midline. Find them. Using the equation, find them. And it's not 2 and -1 as your min and max. Come on, that's your A and your C value. That's not your min and your max. You can use them to get there, but those aren't the min and the max. Come on, let's find them. Use those A and C values to get to the min and the max. All right, let's go. Min and max, what do you got for me? 2. Maximum is 1. Again, hey, ready? 2 was the old one, minus 1. Yep, you end up with 1. Minimum? Yep, ready? -2 was the old min. Subtract 1 again. -3. And how about midline? It's your C value. I don't have to do anything to find the midline. It's the C value. Those are already on there, so you're all set. If not, you're going to have to put them on there tomorrow. All right, everyone now ready for the x-axis. Setting up the x-axis with your tick marks. And I'm just going to use the tick marks that were originally there, right? Here, 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 and there. Just use the old ones. All right, how do I set that up? First thing I need is the what? What's always the last value on the x-axis? Period, right? So period equals 2 pi over, what's the b value? Pick off the b value in the equation. 2 again? 2. So the period's going to be pi. And that's where my curve's going to end. Unless I need to make 2 cycles, but I don't think I pull that on you tomorrow. All right, what about the others? How do I find the other values? What do I do with that period to find the other values? 6?
Divided by 4.
Yep, so key values now. I'm going to take that period, divide by 4. Sometimes I got to skip and flip, right? Sometimes I reduce. I don't have to do anything here. It's pi over 4. And that is your first tick mark, pi over 4. All right, how do I get the in-betweens now? Nick?
Just add pi.
Keep adding the numerator. Keep adding the new pi, add another pi. 2 pi over 4. Keep adding a pi. Keep adding the original numerator. Keep adding pi all along. What's going to be my next one? 3 pi over 4. And then you're done. Guys, that's the hardest part. By far, that's the hardest part, setting up the y and the x-axis. Because now all you have to do for me is graph a sine curve. That's all you need to do. You got to remember where sine starts, goes, and ends. And that's on your study guide as well. So take me on this journey here. Whew. 9, where's sine start?
-1.
At the midline. Yep, sine starts at the midline, goes where?
To the max.
Max, there's no negative out in front. If there was, I'd flip it. So I'm going to go to the max, which is 1. Then where?
Back down to the midline.
Back to the mid, to the
Min.
minimum, -3. And where does it end?
The midline.
Midline, -1 right there. Here you go. Hardest part is setting up the x and the y, I think. Watch out for a -2 tomorrow. Anything from you guys? Cross off number 9. All right. We don't use those type of wording, that type of wording anyway. So 9's out. All right, 10. Let's go over 10.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
The period would be like,
What are we done? 10?
yeah,
Not there yet. Relax. Can I answer the first part, which is what's the?
yeah.
Oh, never mind. It is what's the period. Sorry.
So would it be like 4 pi because it's like shows the other side?
Well, no, ready? Period on a graph. And you are correct. Just want to make sure the explanation's good. Start on the y-axis, right? This is what I've showed you guys. You start on the y, you keep tracing, and you stop where it's going to repeat itself, which looks like it's going to start repeating right here at the end of the graph. Everyone agrees? I look down, but I see there is no label on that part of the x-axis. So that's on you now. What would that label be on that point on the x-axis? We'll take a look. What's halfway in between? 2 pi. So I'd have to go out another 2 pi, and it would be? Correct, 4 pi. So the period here would be 4 pi.
Oh, so I was just looking at the other side, which, like the negative part of it, but you don't look at that.
I don't. I start on the y-axis and go to the positive side and see where it starts repeating, because that's always guaranteed to be your period. And then how about amplitude? How do you find amplitude again? Ooh, 10. How do I find amplitude?
Max minus min.
Okay. And I think we can get that off the graph. There is no confusion about that one. So amplitude, A value, 3 minus -3 over 2. It's at 6 over 2, 3. All right, we're good. No issues yet. All right, part B, write the equation. Y equals, what goes out in front here? 3. What type of curve are we looking at? Because I didn't give that to you. Cosine. And look, hey, just because I didn't ask for it, I'm still going to need it now. What do I still need to figure out here? Yeah, what's my B value? What's my B value? My frequency, Tim, right. And how do I get that? Using the period formula. P equals 2 pi over B. So go ahead, find your B value. Period equals 2 pi over B. Plug in 4 pi. Let's see if we get a B value. Just because I didn't ask, we still have to find it. Anybody got a B value?
1/2.
1/2. The pi's cancel. 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2. So there's B, and I am also going to need to check for a C, but we just talked about, does this go up and down in the same amount? Okay, so there's no C. But there will be at times if it doesn't go up and down in the same amount. So that's what we're looking at. 3 cosine 1/2 x.
What do you mean by they go like?
Okay, see where the max is 3 and the minimum is -3. But if the max was 3 and the minimum was -8, I'm going to have to find a C value. We're going to do one of those coming up. Cross off 11. Cross off 11, not responsible for something like that. 11's out. There's one more I wanted to do with you. I think that was the one I was just talking to Clayton about. Cross off 19. There's some of these we don't do anymore because some of the questions are just a little out of control. I think I want to do 22 with you, right? Yep, 22. Last one we're going to do together. Another graphing one, finding the values. All right, amplitude. Use the formula. Max minus min over 2. What did we get for our amplitude? 5?
Uh,
3. Good. 5 minus negative 1 over 2. Period. You guys know the deal. Start on the y-axis. Trace, trace, trace. Where's it? Stop and repeat. Look down. That's what your period is on the x-axis. Did you find the period on the graph? Period 2? 4. Good. Hey, if anybody's wondering, I'm going to start here. That's where it starts on the y-axis. Tracing that sucker, and I'm going to stop repeating or start repeating here. Look down. It's at 4. All right, now use 4 to find the frequency. Use 4 to find your B value, the frequency. And when you cross multiply, solve for B, we end up with 7. Tim, what do you get for your
Pi over 2.
good job? Pi over 2. All right, ready for the equation? Y equals, what do you got next? 3. What type of curve? Cosine. What goes in the parentheses? Pi over 2 x. Didn't ask for it, but take a look. It's going to have one, right? It's going to have a C value because this is what I was talking about. See how it goes up to 5 and down to -1, different values? All right, first time today. How do you find a C value? How do you find a C value? 14, C value?
Max plus 1.
Okay, so I'm going to go 5 plus -1 over 2. And that'll be 2. There it is. We all good? Went over a graphing question, a bunch of finding values given a graph. All right, have an answer key. The answer keys are where the homework's located on Classroom. Let's have one. Let's have it open. Come on, I'm giving you a lot of time here to practice. Call me over if you need something.